Hey friends, this is Gavin, back at Urban Garden Supply, here to give you yet another fantastic video. Today we're going to talk about transplanting. For some people it's hard, for some people it's easy. Hopefully we can turn something that might be difficult or might be confusing for you into something that is fairly straightforward and run-of-the-mill for you after a couple shots. Here's what we got going on. Today I'm going from these little 4-inch by 4-inch containers over to these more gallon-sized containers. Now, as the plant grows, it gets bigger roots. You get bigger fruits if you got bigger roots, but you have to have space for those roots. So when they're small, they only are going to take up about this much room. As they get bigger, of course, you're way ahead of me already. You know we're going to be transplanting into these guys today. So let me kind of show you what I like to do. I'll take my amazing, very scientific scooper here. I like to fill up the bottom a little bit. As far as peppers go, they really don't put out roots if you bury them deeper, so, or at least that's what I've seen so far, so I wouldn't suggest burying them too deep. And what I like to do is squeeze the sides of these dry, the plants aren't dry, but the soil's dry. So that's just going to allow the soil to move quickly outside of the box. Now, here's something that you should remember to do, which is to push from the bottom as well. A lot of guys squeeze the side, a lot of girls squeeze the side for that matter. But if you don't squeeze the bottom off, the roots can get stuck in there pretty easily. They're going to grow out of the holes. You want to stress the plant as little as possible, and this is about the easiest way to stress it as little as possible. Here's what I'll do. This is the Vulcan method, my Star Trekky friends. You vulcanize your fingers, you put them right around the stem, and you kind of just cover the stem and squeeze tight. You're going to let gravity do the work. If you pull the stem out instead of let gravity doing the work, you're going to pull the plant away from its roots. It's like cutting off your mouth. Don't do it. Don't do it. So here we go. I'm tipping it on its side, right over the container that I'm going to transplant into. That means that all the soil that spills out into the container. I'm squeezing with my hand, even though I pre-squeezed. I'm having to squeeze, and oh, look at that. Boom! Those are some beautiful roots, ladies and gents. Here, I'll show you real quick. I don't know if you can see very well, but we have ourselves a very healthy root structure. They've reached the side, but there's not a whole lot of wrapping around, so there's not a lot of stress there. And while I got these roots out, any old mycorrhizal inoculant is going to help your roots grow a lot quicker and help get nutrients to your plant. So at Transplant, I like to just sprinkle some on. So since I work at a shop and the nice guys at Extreme Gardening were able to give us some samples, I'm able to just kind of dump it around. This is more than they recommend, but that's fine with me. I'm looking more for performance, and the cost isn't an issue as it's a sample. You guys at home would use around a tablespoon per plant. You can always use more. You can't use too much of the stuff. It's kind of nice. Now that I've got the plant back in the soil, I'm just going to throw some more soil around. And I like to leave about a 1/2 inch width around the container. That way when I'm watering, if I happen to water a little heavy, it ends up not overflowing. If you notice I'm tapping here, that's just a way of keeping the soil flat. It just looks a little bit nicer. So there you have it. One nice little pepper plant with plenty of space for its roots to grow. This plant could probably get up about 18 inches or so before it's going to need another transplant, which we might get to in a later episode. I'm Gavin at Urban Garden Supply. Feel free to check us out at urbangardensupply.net for all your horticultural needs.